Welcome, everybody, to the Merch Minds Podcast, episode 140. Today, I have my good friend, Michael Webster. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. What's going on?
What's going on, man? It's good to
Thanks
see
for
you. Thanks for being here. I know we talked about having you on the show for some time now, but I know you're a very busy man. And finally, we were able to work out a schedule to get you on the show. Let me apologize to everyone. I'm getting a lot of text messages. So if you guys are hearing that ding, it's because people are texting me right now, and I should just try and shut it off.
you
Maybe I should.
popular guy.
Hey, what can I say? But thank you, Michael, so much for being here.
Yeah, man. I
Again,
appreciate you. Appreciate you having me on.
yeah, like I said, man, we've been trying to get you on for a while, man, but uh, finally we were able to work out a schedule, and you're finally here. That's all that matters. Always late, better than never. Uh,
Yes,
let's see.
sir.
So I don't know if you heard, Glenn is no longer doing the show.
I actually listened to that episode earlier this afternoon.
Okay. If you
So
haven't heard it, I was just gonna tell you like a lie, saying that I just kicked him off the show or something. But no, man,
This
it's
is
all good.
my
No,
show.
this is my show. Get the
You
hell
bought it.
on.
You bought him out, huh?
Nah, man, he's my boy, man. I've known him for some time now. It's just, we had talked in private, and it makes sense, right? The guy doesn't even do merch anymore. Yeah, he has an account, but I mean, if you go back to 6 months of us doing the podcast, I mean, he wasn't doing anything with it, right? So it makes total sense. But I'll have him back on the show here and there, and he'll definitely give us an update on what's going on in his life. But you know what? Forget him. We're here to talk about you. So you're from one of my favorite cities, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville. Yes, sir.
I love it out there, man. I was
Born and
out there.
raised.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was out there. I want to say 3 years ago, man, and I had a blast. But go ahead and give us a quick intro. Name, where you're from, how you got into merch, anything else you want to share.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna go back. We go way back. Okay, so
Yeah,
my
man.
name is. So y'all know it's Mike. aka Strugglepreneur. I kind of took on that title. Uh, I'm 43, just turned 43. I've been in merch since let's see, what is this? 2019. I think this is my third year
Mm,
in merch. And I was let's see, my daughter was born in 20. No, it's been 2 years. My daughter was born in 2016 and I went and got a business license that same month, and jumped on Amazon FBA retail arbitrage.
oh wow.
And I was in Kmart and Walmart and all the other places with my phone scanning. And at the time, I didn't even know who Chris Green was. I was in some Facebook groups
Sure.
for reselling on Amazon, and I was, it was a struggle because I'd find something and the numbers would look good, and by the time it hit FBA, it was like a race to the bottom. It was like me and like 200 other people found this item and all sent it in at the same time. So, and I was in this group. It was called FBA Rockstars, and somebody started talking about how merch they were making all this extra money on merch, and I was like, what is Amazon merch? And
Hmm.
somebody posted a link, and I signed up, and it was like 6 months later, I think, like almost 6 months later, I got an email saying that I had been approved, and I hadn't done any research, and I didn't know anything about anything. And I remember I went over to Fiverr and bought like 5 designs.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. And so then I started finding some merch groups, and I think I got in Chris Green's big group, and
Hmm.
just went on from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that was the that was the same year that the eclipse happened, the
I got
eclipse
you.
train, and I remember I got approved in April, and I sold like single digit numbers up until uh, July, and then I got this idea for an eclipse shirt, and I reached out to I think it was on Upwork, I went and found a designer. I was like, hey, I want to, do this design for the Eclipse. And I put that shirt up and it took off. Like I
Oh wow.
made,
Okay.
yeah, it was July. I think I sold 28 shirts. I was still in tier like 10 or whatever. And in July, I sold 28 shirts. And then in August, I sold, I think it was like 568 shirts
Wow.
that
Of
month.
that
Yeah,
one design.
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I made $3,200 or $3,100 in August.
My
That
man.
same month of the eclipse. So I
That's
was
that's
just like,
okay.
I remember I was like, this is it. Our ship has arrived.
I'm gonna tell my mom to retire. This
Yeah,
is
you
it.
can tell them, give me a notice at your job. And then like the next month I made like $200.
Oh yeah, man. I think that was all of us. You know, I made a few Eclipse designs. None of them sold. I think I got into the niche way too late. Because by the time I had uploaded my designs, I mean, there had to be over 1,000 Eclipse designs on the Amazon merch, and it just got lost in all that, in all those designs. So I didn't sell one. Um, so one thing before I get into the actual interview, I want to share my last 7 day numbers. You're welcome to share your numbers as well. You don't have to. I just,
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I try to be transparent to my listeners and, um, you know, just share my numbers. I'm not no guru or an expert. I don't claim to make millions of dollars on Amazon merch. Just me sharing my numbers. So my last 7 days, 77 products sold, 3 returns, product purchases, product purchases for $1,715.53 with an estimated royalty of $370.02. Horrible, horrible. Um, did you want to share yours?
What did you say your 7 day was?
77 products sold, three
Okay,
returns, with an estimated royalty of $370.02.
okay. So I am, let's see, last 7 days I have 125 products sold. Just for a point of reference, I am tier 4K,
Okay.
2,165 designs live. So last 7 days, 125 sales for $432.82 in
My
royalties.
man. Hey, you look. You have that's okay because you know why? Because you have less products than me, but yet you're making more money than me. I don't know what to say. I'm embarrassed. I'm
Well,
embarrassed.
I have a kind of a little philosophy behind that. I mean, for your listeners, I'm not I don't have the typical merch story of, some people like, oh, I've only been doing this 4 months and I'm at tier 10K.
Yeah.
My story is nothing like that. Like every inch that I progressed was like, blood, sweat, and tears put into it.
Yeah.
So,
Same here.
and I see a lot of people that say, because when you upload now, if you're going to all the products and all the markets, it's what, 18 products, I think.
Something like that.
One
Yeah.
design on like 18 product. Like I don't believe in that. Like I think that waters down your catalog. A lot of people disagree with me, but I think you should put a design up on one or two appropriate products. And then if it sells, think about putting it on something else. But if you take a guy that has 100 designs and he puts them on all 18 products across all the markets, well, he's got 1,800 listings. And you got another guy that's, you give him 100 designs and he only puts them on t-shirts. So he's got 100 listings, but it really only got 100 choices. See what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's 100 designs, and if a shopper finds that design, they're not gonna buy it on a t-shirt, a tank top, a pop socket, and a hoodie. They're just gonna buy one. So to me,
Right.
when you put it on
I can
everything,
argue, well, not everyone wants a t-shirt, right? Like surprisingly, right? This might sound like lying, but there are actually people, like I actually know people who prefer long sleeves over a t-shirt, right? And then
I don't disagree with you, but I wouldn't compare the guy that's only got 100 shirts. Like I wouldn't compare his sales to the guy that has 1,800 listings.
sure, sure. Me, I'm so it sounds like you only upload your designs on selected products. Me, I upload everything across the board except premiums and pop sockets. I think pop sockets are just they don't sell for me for whatever reason.
You know,
I
it's
know,
weird. I sold
yeah,
a lot of pop sockets last year, but this year it's just not.
it's just I've said this in the previous episode. I think I think I think Amazon kind of just accidentally got into printing on pop sockets. I think it was just an opportunity that was there, and they just kind of signed the dotted line to see what would happen. Um, that's just my whole theory. I don't think there was any um, educated decision on their end. I think it was just an opportunity that just knocked on the door, and they're like, "Okay, let's do it." That's just me, though. I mean, what do I know? I'm no freaking expert, right?
I mean, didn't they say earlier this year they were saying that there was some kind of beef between them, like some sort of
Yeah, it was
legal
like Biggie
activity or
Smalls
something?
and Tupac and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and the guy wanted to pull his stuff off of Amazon or something. I don't know. I never heard whatever came about of that.
Yeah, I don't know either. But the reason I say sell across the, I upload across the board is because I recently in my group, my Facebook group, I shared my numbers for hoodies. Hoodies been, man. Let me tell you right now, Michael. They've been my bread and butter for the past couple of weeks,
Oh yeah,
and I have my hoodies priced at $40. And at $40, my royalty for each hoodie that I sell at $40 is a little
it's
over
like
ten
ten
bucks.
dollars.
It's
Yeah,
like 10 something. And I'll tell you right now, if my last 7 day numbers that I just gave you, if it wasn't for hoodies, I swear it would be like $20. My royalties.
really?
Yeah,
I have a few selling, but it's still mostly t-shirts. But
man. So
I have surprisingly, I have some V-necks. I'm still selling tank tops.
yeah, I sell tank tops, but hoodies, man, they've been blowing up for me. Like I said, and I'm being honest, man. Like if it wasn't for hoodies, my it's embarrassing. My numbers would be like 20, $25 for the last 7 days.
Hmm.
It's pathetic. So whatever.
So you
Just
don't do the low price strategy though, right?
I do it just for the standard t-shirts. I'll price it at 1307. Is it 1307 or 1308? The lowest price you can
You
go.
can. I think you do 1307 now, but it's zero royalty.
Yeah. So only for the standard t-shirt, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I can do it on every product that I list, but just on standards,
That's
I
funny.
li-
I do the same thing, but I didn't think
really.
anybody else. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, you see, man,
I do.
great minds think alike.
I do 1307 on the shirts, and everything else I just leave it at
Yep.
whatever they set it at,
Yeah. I
and the
think the
stuff sells.
you know I think what it is, I think the reasoning behind that for us is because we know that standards are the ones that's going to sell the most, right? Like if a sweatshirt sells, oh, okay, that's great. It sells, but at the end of the day, like 80-90% of our sales are going to be the standard shirts. So I think that's why
Right,
we price them at the lowest, and once they sell, we then raise the price to what we think is a fair market price. Correct?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I bump it a dollar every time.
Okay, yeah, I don't do that. I don't have the patience to keep going back and editing it. So, so before we get into the show, uh, I just, I've been receiving emails from listeners asking why I don't send out a monthly income report anymore. And I'll be honest, I just got sick and tired of writing it because my numbers, they haven't changed in the last 2 years,
It's
right?
depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing. They haven't changed in the last 2 years. It's always been consistent. So there's really nothing to write about. And if you guys really do want my numbers, I mean, if you listen to the show regularly, I mean, I do give out my numbers at the beginning of the show. You can do the math yourself and figure out what my um, monthly royalty is. But I just got sick and tired of writing it because nothing's changed. No matter how much work I put in, nothing's changed. So it's frustrating. So let's
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was talking to a friend of mine today about my numbers so far this month because we're smack dab in the middle of Q4,
Yeah.
and I was looking at my numbers this month compared to my numbers last year for November, and it's not that much different. Like I have twice as many listings, at least a little over two times as many.
Hmm.
But my royalties, like I'm on pace to beat last November by maybe 200 bucks. So it's kind of depressing.
It is depressing and it's frustrating, right? Because like and I think, and when I say we, I think most people in the community, we do our best to think. We try to follow the rules and the guidelines. Granted, things change here and there all the time. We're human. We make mistakes, but but we try to follow the guidelines. But but um, but it seems like regardless of how well we follow the guidelines and how much effort we put into it, at least for I know there are a small percentage of people that are finding success, but I think overall, it's just nothing's really happening for whatever reason.
Right.
So and it's really frustrating. And I've been for the past 3 years, I've been doing the show trying to figure out how to master merch by Amazon, and it hasn't really happened yet. I mean, I found early success. Again, if you guys been listening to the show since the beginning, you guys know at one point I found early success where I was doing like $3,000 a month. That obviously isn't the case anymore.
I mean,
But
and don't get me wrong, because I do about for the last 6 months or so, I do about $1,000 a month.
mhm.
Excuse me.
And it helps.
And yeah, that's good money coming in.
Yeah,
1,000 bucks a month. That's 250 a week or whatever. That can put you at ease a little bit, but it's just not what it's not where I thought it would be. Where I thought it would be this far in. So I totally agree with you, but I just
yeah,
I'm also grateful that I have that. I have
absolutely.
that coming in.
No, don't get me wrong. You know what? I bitch. I complain. I'll kick my dog across the room. No, I'm joking. I don't do that. Um, but but at the end of the day, I'm very grateful, and I'm very I'm so grateful for the opportunity, because I was able to create. And when I say I think I speak for both of us. We were able to create an income stream out of nothing, right? And it's
Yep.
funny because my friends, and I talked about this in the past too. My friends, I don't openly talk about my podcast to my close friends,
Hmm.
not because I'm embarrassed by it, but it's just, if I was to talk about it, they just don't understand. They don't get it, right? And so recently they found out that I do a podcast, and they're laughing and they're poking at me. They're ribbing me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you know what, whatever. But you know what? I've done something that you guys could never do, which is
Yeah.
create an income stream out of nothing. That's the same thing you did. You created an income stream out of nothing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not what you know, we were expecting higher numbers by now, and we're nowhere near that. But it's like you said, $1,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so are you doing any other print on demand besides merch?
Not really. I mean, I have an Etsy store that doesn't really do a whole lot. I don't really spend a whole lot of time on it, but I get sales here and there. And I got some stuff on Redbubble, and I gave Orbit Kit a shot this year, but the it didn't really. I don't know. I guess those platforms don't really lend themselves to the kind of designs that I put up because I got a lot of text, a lot of text designs, and just
I got
I get sales here and there, but it's nothing that's nothing to write home about.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I do have that I just want to mention real quick. I don't want to. It's not really print on demand, but it came out of my Etsy store. Like I had a local store owner found my Etsy store, and she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to we want to carry some of your product in our store?" And so I met with them, and I was hoping it was going to be wholesale, but it's not. It's consignment, but
Okay.
it's in the mall, like and it's not like a mall that's like dying. This mall is it's defying what most malls do. They still have growth, and so I was like, okay, this has been about a year now that I decided to take on this opportunity. So I sunk a couple $1,000s into having four of my designs pre-printed, and I put it at the store in the mall, and they sell it. I have to pay rent. They sell it, then they get 20% of the sale. And that was October of 18 when I started doing that.
Okay.
And that October I lost money, and every single month after that I've made money.
Is that
Every
right?
single month. Yeah, every single month.
See, man. See, look. You know what's crazy is every time I talk to someone new, I feel like I feel like people say how merch is dead, and in my opinion, I think in general it is. I think the market's just way too saturated. But people always find clever ways to kind of hack the system almost to get more sales, right? For
Mhm.
instance, you talked about getting your designs into local stores. Um, have you ever met Greg Johnson? I think you,
We're friends on Facebook.
okay,
I've never met him in person though.
okay. He was at the very first Merch by Amazon conference in Seattle. I had him on about a month ago. Oh, no, it was longer than that. It was because I had him right before I went on jury duty, but he was talking about how he does private label with his designs. I don't know if you heard that episode,
I have
but
not. I'll have to go
so
back and
so
check
yeah,
that one
so
out.
what he does is he has a local printer. He took his best designing shirt, went to his local printer and said, I don't know, print 100 of these, right? And then he got those 100 shirts printed, sent them in through FBA, and he started selling his shirts that way.
Hmm.
And for the most part, it's working out for him.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really like I said. I whenever I talk to people, and this is the best part of interviewing and doing the podcast is, when you talk to people, you come, there's all kinds of crazy ways that you can really hack the system, right? Like
Mhm.
like you doing the local sales, and then Greg's doing the FBA, and then we have Mike Wall. He's obviously doing local merch, and so it's crazy, man. I mean, there's still ways that you can really think outside the box. So, I mean, is that something you're going to pursue? You think?
The local stuff.
Yeah. I mean, is it worth the money? I mean, is it worth the time? You don't have to tell us how much you make if you don't want to. But I mean, at the end of the
The
day, I
thing
mean, I mean, I mean,
about
I mean, if you're coming out on top,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
something
well,
that you might want to pursue, right?
I looked into when I first looked into it. We went with a local printer, and it was screen print. And screen printing your shirts, you can get them for like, depending on how many colors, you can get them anywhere from like $6 to $10. And I'm talking about a Bella canvas, like a nice shirt
Okay.
printed. I put the price tag is 24.99 at the mall, and the store takes 20%, so that's 19.99 they put in my pocket. So I'm doubling my money, a little over double my money. So I would definitely recommend somebody, to try to do that. And then there's a whole world of people. Like I'm just one vendor in a store that has several vendors, and
Sure.
when I talk to them, they're like, "Yeah, we do shows, we do flea markets, we do pop up shops," and they're looking at my stuff and they're like, "People would buy your stuff." Like if I had the time, I would try to get into that market and do some shows. I just don't have the time to get into it, but
Yeah,
it's kind of
man.
like Amazon merch led to the Etsy store, and the only reason I did the Etsy store was because Neil Lasson told me to. He put out a blog post or something about it, and I did it.
Everyone has to listen
And
to Neil.
yeah, and then so somebody saw the store and they reached out, and it's just like one thing leads to another, man. So if you keep an open mind and keep your eyes open, you can find some ways to increase your income.
Michael, I
Mm.
think you should continue. I mean, like I said, if you're making a profit off of it, I think you should definitely keep continue. As long as they're willing to work with you, my suggestion would be just keep doing it, man. And maybe every quarter just come up with a fresh new design for them.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be my
Uh,
suggestion.
the only problem there is I have to, with the printer that I work with, I have to get 50 shirts for it to be that profitable.
A minimum of
Uh,
50 shirts.
yeah, well, I mean they'll do 24, but the price goes up,
Uh
and
huh.
and I like that nice profit margin when I have 50 shirts printed. So when I have them printed, I have to know that they're gonna sell. The surprising thing is they have community. Uh, like I rent a 4 foot space on a wall, but they have community space for other things.
Mm.
Think like a gift shop, but with clothing. And so they have keychains, they have buttons, they have magnets, they have stickers, and then other people, like I do T-shirts and stickers and magnets, but then other people are doing like other wood like things that they've carved and carpentry stuff, and one lady
You know
does
what this sound?
candles, another guy does hats, but
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a little boutique. Um, where people can go in as a tourist and just buy little trinkets here and there. Yeah.
yeah, it is. But
Okay.
we have locals that come in there too
Sure.
and buy stuff. And but the thing that surprised me is the stickers, man. The stickers. I make so much money on stickers because they only cost like 50 cents to $1 to print, and people pay like $4 or $5 for stickers. It's crazy.
And this is all local.
Yes, local.
Wow. See, I thought about. See, here's the thing. I thought about, and I still do. I'm thinking about getting into stickers. The problem is, I think the only major player right now, um, really, now I think about it, I don't know of anyone that prints stickers. I was gonna say Printful, but I don't think they do stickers.
I heard somebody say that they did, but I'm not sure if they do or not.
Yeah, you know what?
I
That's something I need to look into. Um, but
I
yeah,
don't
I
know
mean,
what Etsy's rules are on having things pre-printed, but I don't know why I couldn't have, stickers pre-printed as long as I list the third-party production.
mhm.
If I list where I got them from, I don't know if I'm violating any TOS there because
Yeah,
it's
I don't
something I thought
know.
about doing.
So I'll tell you what, to the listeners, if you guys know of, so first of all, that's not my business model. Like, I don't want to print anything and have anything in my house as inventory, unless I'm doing eBay, right? I just hate having stuff in the house.
I have
So,
learned that I hate eBay and I hate shipping. It's really the only reason I haven't done it is
welcome
I
to
hate
welcome to the
shipping.
reselling world, man. But 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 if anyone knows of a fulfillment company that does stickers that would do one-offs and just ship them to drop ship to the customers, let us know. Because yeah, you're right. No, I've thought about doing it. And if you guys know of any other ones out there, please let us know in the comments or send me a message. But yeah, so that sounds like you're doing awesome with stickers, though, huh?
Yeah, man, it's pretty surprising. Like stickers will pay the rent.
What you know what it is? It's probably because I mean, $4, that's really not that much, right? Like if I was a consumer and I walk into a store like that and say, "Oh, look, here's a cute sticker," it's only $4, right?
Yep.
I mean, so I think people just they're impulse buying, right? So they're just buying things um, as they see it. So that's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
the owners would say that we had these high school kids, or we have these kids come in here and they don't really have any money, but they got allowance or whatever, so they'll just come in and buy some stickers.
That's awesome.
So
How many
yeah.
designs do you have on stickers?
Let's see, I have 6 shirts. I have I have 16 slots on the community table, one keychain, 3 magnets, and the rest are stickers.
Hmm.
So that's what, 12 stickers.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool, man. I didn't realize you were doing that. Okay. Um, so how frustrated are you with merch? I mean, it sounds like going back to my earlier questions with you about merch. It sounds like you were kind of frustrated with it. Are you still actively doing
Actively
merch? Like like
frustrated.
like like are you actively uploading to this day? Like me, I'm still uploading to this day, but I still bitch
Um,
about it, right?
I upload in phases, and I got a lot on my plate, so I'll focus on merch, and then I'll upload for a while, and then I'll shift my focus and do something else.
Mhm.
I've actually been lately. I've been working on some affiliate marketing things, that
Okay.
it's tough to get any of
It's
that to
tough.
take
You,
off.
you definitely have to be an influencer. Um, so let's talk about that then, man. Let's talk about other ways that you make money, because that's something that you document on your on your podcast, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But you do other things, right?
Yeah, so I um we do Amazon merch. We got the local store and been trying to do the affiliate marketing thing. Started the podcast, but it doesn't really generate any revenue. It's just more of a me documenting, kind of my story, as we
Sure.
go along. And I was also DJing. That was my original side hustle. Was I was a local DJ, but I haven't done really much of that
How
this
come? How
year.
come you don't pursue that more?
Really, honestly, because
Uh
I'm old and these kids and their devil music. No, I'm not feeling the music that's coming out right now.
I don't either, man.
And
I
when
don't either.
when somebody calls me and like, hey, can you come DJ my wedding? Because I had been doing weddings, and I would have to stop focusing on print on demand to download music, and it was just something I didn't want to do.
Hmm.
I would just rather work on, merch or designs. And I was just like, it's just not there. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. So,
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. If you lose the passion, I mean, there's no reason for you to keep pursuing. Kind of like Glenn, right? I mean, again, we talk about Glenn. He lost his passion for merch by Amazon and print on demand, so it just made sense for him not to do the show anymore. But yeah, that's interesting, um, because I know you do talk about all that in your podcast. So, what are your current goals, man?
my current goals,
Uh huh.
I want my wife to be able to quit her job. I'm
Okay.
a I'm a stay-at-home dad of five.
Oh wow, 5 kids.
Yeah, five kids.
My man, you are busy. 5 kids. Okay. So
Yeah,
so
I
um
wasn't kidding around when I said I'm busy.
okay, so what would it take for the wife, for Mrs. Webster, to quit a job?
If I were to generate six figures, we would just have to make sure that health insurance is covered,
So
basically.
so 100K a year, and to pay the health insurance.
Yeah,
Okay. Um how close are you to making that goal?
not even.
Wow.
You're still working on it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay. So then I guess so why do you think it's so hard to meet that goal? Because and I'm in the same, and I apologize if I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm in the same boat as you. Granted, I don't have 5 kids.
hmm
I've been trying to meet my goal of making 10K a month outside of my day job,
hmm
and it's been kind of a challenge for me. Why do you think that is? How come what's keeping you from uh meeting your goal, you think?
It's a lot of different things. Like that's a complicated question.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know that I could. If it was just one answer, I'd be. I wouldn't even be talking to you right
Right.
now.
I wouldn't even be here.
But I mean, some of it is me. Some of it is internal hangups, and some of it is I have five kids under the age of 11. And they can be kids can easily be the reason and the obstacle at the same time.
I got you.
So it's just I can't. I can. What is it? Gary Vee says, grind till you bleed or whatever. Like I can't hustle so hard that I neglect my family.
True.
So you got to kind of find the the balance to where you can work on it as much as you can, but you still got to take care of your family too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you need to work. You need to work hard, but at the same time, you have to understand that you have a home base and other priorities, like the wife and the kids. No, it makes
hmm
total sense, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your podcast, the Strugglepreneur. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Strugglepreneur. I represent the struggle.
You absolutely do. You represent the struggle for all of us, man. Um, so believe it or not, man, I am a subscriber. I do listen, and I'm a little disappointed in this, because You
I had a
haven't
feeling.
uploaded. You haven't
I,
uploaded in a while, man. What happened?
I had a feeling because I could look at I could look at the stats
Uh huh.
and it tells me where everyone lives. And I'm looking at California and I was like, wonder if that's young listening to my
That's
show.
me, man. That's me.
That's awesome.
That's me, man. Look,
Dude, that's
I might
good
not,
stuff.
I might, I'm at times I get busy myself, and I might not say hello as much, but I definitely am dialed in, and I listen.
That's cool, man. Well, you're gonna motivate me to get on there and drop
Yeah,
you.
man. So tell us about the podcast. Um, what made you start the
See,
podcast?
what had
Uh,
happened was I don't know if you're familiar with ClickFunnels.
I am.
It's
That's something that
all
I want to venture into at some point.
it's all Amanda Balcazar's fault. Because she got me into ClickFunnels and I bought the book and I did the challenge. You know, they have like a 30-day challenge. I did
Yeah.
it and one of the days in the challenge, she was like, the most important thing you can do is start publishing every single day. Start publishing either the podcast or the blog or the Facebook Live or YouTube or whatever. But just do it every single day. And I was pumped and I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And I had a little background in audio. So I started doing a podcast and even when you take the challenge, they tell you don't get hung up in the little stuff, you know, don't get hung up in how it sounds, don't spend, you know, 3 days editing, just talk and publish. And
Yep.
I didn't listen. I had to put all these fancy music beds in and I'm editing and trying to make my voice sound just right and I bought a really expensive microphone and you know it went all right for a while and then it was just it got to be too much and I had a ClickFunnels account that I was kind of neglecting and I knew I was gonna have to start paying for it in October. So I was like, I got to get this ClickFunnels thing off the ground. I got to make it start paying for itself. So I shifted my focus back to ClickFunnels, and you know, I just have too many things on my plate. Is what happened. So I think I'm gonna dumb it down. You know, I'm gonna reapproach the podcast, but it's not gonna be so elaborate. It's just gonna be me. You know,
Yeah.
just me
Yeah.
talking. So when I come back, which is probably gonna be soon, hopefully before this episode drops,
Hmm.
I'm gonna start publishing again. So
Okay. Well, I really hope you do, because again, I was listening, even though I never told you. I would listen to your podcast, and I think the very last one that I heard was actually a few days ago, uh, and that one was uploaded in July, correct?
uh,
Maybe
July,
June.
July or August,
Okay.
I think.
So it's been a few months. So I do listen, and here's the thing: the best advice that I can give you is this. And I don't consider myself an expert, but look, we've been doing this
But you got
podcast.
way more episodes than me.
Well,
So I'm
here's the deal.
definitely listening.
Well, here's the deal, Michael. So, I mean, when Glenn and I started the podcast, we had no freaking idea what we were doing, right? But we knew we had to get our voices out there. And Glenn was already doing his YouTube channel, so we were like, you know what? Let's try a podcast, right? So we started doing the podcast. We had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know what to expect. In fact, you can go back and listen to like the first 10, 15 episodes. The editing's all messed up, man. We had no clue what we were doing, right? Um, and we never claimed to be experts. It was just kind of like you said. It was just it was just us documenting our journeys into Merch by Amazon. Um, and at the time, merch and print on demand, it was new and fresh to a lot of people, and there wasn't a lot of content out there about it.
Hmm.
So we wanted to be like the first ones out there to be putting out a podcast on Merch by Amazon. Um, and again, our numbers sucked. No, we didn't even know if we even had listeners at that point, but we kept doing it. We were just persistent, and we just kept putting out episodes every week. And the next thing I know, I'm getting emails and messages, and people are saying, "Oh man, we love your podcast." And you know what? There's going to be people that hate you, right? Whatever. I love me or hate me, I don't care. I'm not doing this to win a popularity contest. It's just me again documenting my journey. And I admit the format of the shows changed over the years.
Mhm.
But it's been, and I'm proud to say I have like the number one podcast when it comes to merch and print on demand now, right? Because again, because we stuck with it, right? We never stopped. We didn't care about how many downloads we had. So my suggestion to you would be just keep doing it, man. Regardless of how many downloads you get, just keep doing it because at the end of the day, it's you documenting yourself and your journey, right? So when you're making that six figures, right? You can kind of go back and listen to that episode from June 2019, be like, man, I was only making this, X amount of money, and now I'm doing six figures. My wife is retired. I'm spending more times with my kids. I always thought, yeah, just keep, even if it's 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes a week, just do it. That'll be my
Man,
best.
I have some that are like 5 minutes.
So what? Just keep putting out content. Yeah. I would say, but in my opinion, I would say if you're gonna do an episode, make it at least a minimum of 30. I think 15 minutes. I personally hate when podcasts are that short. I want a minimum of 30 minutes. But yeah, just keep doing it, man. The strugglepreneur. Yeah. So when can we expect another episode from you?
What's today? What's today? November the 12th?
Hmm.
1 week.
1 week. Okay. So
1 week.
check out Michael Webster's podcast. I'm gonna have the link in the show notes.
I think we
He,
got 11 or 12 episodes up. So I'm gonna add to it.
okay. So he promises to have a fresh new episode out by next week. And I really mean it, man. Just don't get discouraged. Just keep doing it, man. Seriously. So speaking of podcasts, before we end the show, um, and I kind of want to maybe get your suggestion, and I'm going to throw it out there to the listeners as well. I feel like there's only so much we can talk about when it comes to print on demand these days, right? It seems like
Mhm.
almost everything's been talked about. And let me ask you, what do you think about me maybe changing the format of the podcast to like just a general business podcast, not just print on demand? Maybe talk about, like you mentioned earlier, maybe click funnels, doing some affiliate marketing. Obviously, we'll talk about print on demand. Um, I don't know. It's just something I thought about. I just want to get your suggestion or your thoughts.
Man, I don't know. I think print on demand is still kind of in its infancy.
Uh huh.
I think in terms of Amazon merch, everything has been talked about, but there's so many other
There's so
players,
many other. Yeah,
and
I got you.
there's so many other products that are popping up in print on demand. And then when you look at companies like Disney and Marvel and all these other bigger companies that are figuring out it's easier to test the market with print on demand than it is to, just mass produce a bunch of stuff and put it in Macy's or whatever. I
Hmm.
think when you look at it on that scope, I think that print on demand is still in its infancy. So,
Okay, well that's encouraging because I'll be honest with you. I'm like, man, I'm running out of things to talk about, but that's encouraging. It sounds like I need to do some more homework, a little more research on things to talk about, and um, the listeners should let me know as well. Let me know what you guys would want. Do you guys want me to continue with the whole Merch Minds concept, the format, or would you guys want me to mix in different business ideas here and there? I'm open. But my man, hey, it's been a pleasure having you. I know, again, you're very busy. Obviously, having five kids, having to um, care for them and whatnot. So I really, really do appreciate you being here.
I
You gonna?
appreciate you. I mean, you're doing me a favor.
Oh, come
So,
on, man.
yeah,
Anytime,
yeah, you're doing me a favor. You're motivating me over here, to
anytime,
force me to
anytime.
take a look at my show and like what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
I love to
yeah.
be on the show, man. When you gonna have me as a guest?
Next week? What are you doing next week?
Let's do it next week.
Let's do
Okay, let's do it.
it.
That's funny. Um, okay, yeah, I'm down, man. But in the meantime, again, I'll have all his information in the show notes. Are you gonna make it out to? Because I know we met in person at the Seattle conference. Are you gonna make it out to the one in Dallas early next year?
If I could ever get the dates, I
Yeah, I
would,
know. I know Ken's been kind of slow about releasing the dates.
because I'm doing the ClickFunnels thing, and that's at the end of January. It's here, but it's still,
Okay, I might attend that as well, but um, I might be meeting up with Ken here in the next couple of weeks, so I'll talk to him about the dates. And um, um, I mean, I'm sure look. We all know Ken. Ken is a good guy, and he's always on top of things. So I'll talk to him and um, see where it's at. But I would love to see you there. And if not, I'll definitely try and attend the ClickFunnels conference. That's something, as I mentioned earlier, that's something that I want to get into. But again, thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate you. And same time, same place next week.
yeah,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
That's right. It's a Strugglepreneur Podcast.
Strugglepreneurs.
Okay,
Struggle is
thanks.
real.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Later.